The Atlanta Falcons are another big name that comes to mind during the NFL offseason, and today we will be bringing on my own dad to talk about the Atlanta Falcons with us and how they can affect their offseason. I was requested to do this team in the comments section, so Dad, how's it going?
I'm good. I don't know. Atlanta Falcons are a tough team to kind of gauge right now. I mean, they're really not a contender, and I think they still have a long way to go to get there. But I think they're on the right track with the youth movement they've got going on. They just really need to find a lot of pieces. They have a decent draft pick at number 8 this year. I don't know if that's going to get them all the pieces they need, but I do think they have some people on the roster that may be providing some trade value going forward.
I definitely do agree with that. The draft, as we can talk about here at number 8, they can definitely get someone like Jalen Carter from the Georgia Bulldogs, I think they're now. I don't watch that much college football. But they can definitely also get Anderson Jr., who's also in the draft. They can get some great defensive pieces if there's none offensive lineman pieces left in the draft.
Yeah, I don't know if that player from Alabama is going to be, or from Georgia rather, is going to be available at the number 8 pick. They may have to trade up to get him, and then again, do you want to trade additional pieces to try and get one player, or do you want to try and fill out a roster? And right now, they have a lot of holes that they need to fill. I think, especially that offensive line. I mean, they have a decent running back in Patterson, who used to be a Viking. I'm a big Vikings fan, so I know him well. He's a very good special teams kickoff returner. They don't really use him for punts on Atlanta, but he is a good kickoff returner. He did break one this year for 103 yards, which was nice to see. But I don't know if it's worth it keeping him around just to be a special teams threat. He might be more valuable as a running back special teams threat and a trade option to get some more pieces, because they do have a decent running back sitting in the wings, ready to, their number 1 running back this year was not Patterson. I mean, it just wasn't. He had a lot of work to do to catch up to Algier. Algier broke 1,000 yards this year. He averaged more yards per rush. And I think it's time he take that step forward, that leading role. And it's not a duo anymore in the rushing game, but we give the ball to Algier and then bulk up that offensive line. Use Patterson as a trade bait to get yourself some more support, to either support your offensive line, or, to be honest with you, maybe pick up a cornerback or a free safety or something, because the pass defense on this team needs a lot of work.
Their defensive line is actually holding up pretty well as we've seen them. They've actually gotten 16 more sacks than given up in their favor this season, with the defensive line really doing well. Besides that defensive tackle and right end position, the pass game is definitely where they weaken on defense. But for offense-wise, bulk up that offensive line. Maybe give Drake London another pass threat, maybe some speedy guy who can catch the ball, because all you really see in Falcons football is a dump and run game, or maybe a little quick slant here and there. But when someone gets the ball, they can't really break free, break a tackle or two. They can't even really make it to the out-of-bounds line, to be honestly fair with you. But they definitely need some route runner to fit their position. And free agency-wise, I mean, there aren't really that much big names that will work in their favor besides maybe a right tackle or two. I mean, you do have Chris Lindstrom on the offensive line, but that's about all you really have. And when you come to free agent-wise, there are actual threats. Like, maybe we'll see the Falcons go after Justin Jefferson in free agency. I mean, that's very unrealistic, but it is someone they should keep in mind. They should keep in mind if some wide receiver, or maybe even a second tight end for Kyle Pitts, to try and follow up with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think their wide receiver core has any breakaway speed. You look at Hodges, you look at London, you look at Pitts. They're all serviceable wide receivers, but they're really only third option wide receivers. They're not your number 1 wide receiver. You need that one guy who's going to go out and be able to out-jump the opponent's defense. And I don't think they have that right now. I also don't know if Mariota's their quarterback of the future here. I mean, yeah, he got injured this year, and Ritter came in and did a good job. So I guess the main question is, being you're going with the youth movement right now and rebuilding, Do we just say, hey, it's time to take a few years to rebuild this team and go with the youth movement? And is Ritter your option that you're going to go with? Are you going to stick with Mariota for a few more years? Or are you going to look on the free agent market? Because there's a lot of free agent quarterbacks coming available this year. I mean, you got Brady, you got Carr. There's just a lot of quarterbacks out there looking for a home that I think Atlanta could probably get one. It might be a little better option for them, but you need one that can run, because until they can get that offensive line situated, they're going to have to be running for their lives trying to find these receivers. So they definitely need a new receiver, a number one receiver. They definitely need to figure out who's going to be their running back. If it's Algiers, that's great. Who's going to be their quarterback of the future? Bulk up that offensive line. And I think their defensive line is the one positive for this team. They just need to get a decent backfield, like the safeties and the strong safeties, so that they can stop the pass. They're okay at stopping the run. That line's doing a good job. They just can't. Anybody that's got a passing attack is going to blow right by this team right now. And unless that defensive line can get to them quickly and get all those sacks and really hammer those quarterbacks, they're just not going to be able to compete. So they do need a lot of pieces in the coming year.
Right, and I feel like that's what this draft pick is really going to take into consideration here. And I think that's going to expose the direction that they're going to go in. If they go with an offensive player or even a quarterback, that can show you that Desmond Ridder, they're probably not going to be leaning on him. But if they go with a defensive prospect like a safety or a corner, which should probably be the best option for him, maybe a defensive tackle as well, I think the draft pick is really going to end up showing where they are going with in this season. But Dad, thank you for coming on the channel.
Yeah, you're very welcome. I think they got a lot of choices to make, and yeah, I agree with you. What they do with that number 8 pick is going to make a big difference. Are they going to trade it and get multiple picks? Are they going to trade up? Or are they just going to draft one of their needs and then hope to get some additional help in the free agent market? But I think overall, they got a lot of work to do. But maybe in a few years, we can see the Falcons flying high again.
Yep. So that's a short little summary of your average Atlanta Falcons off season. We'll see if they actually play it out the way how they're supposed to. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope to see Dad in another video or two soon. And Dad, thank you for coming on the channel. And as a tradition for this series, we're going to try and bring someone different on each episode. So thank you for watching. Bye-bye.